place where the mettle of warriors, the uninitiated, and the forgotten are tested. It is here, within these walls, where your true purpose can be found. As if waking from a dream, you find yourself standing in a massive room. The walls curve outward and away from you, as if racing towards infinite possibilities. Before you is a path that slopes upwards to the top of a stone pyramid. A faint, bluish hue can be seen emanating from it. Your feet seem to move forward on their own. You are unsure of what is at the top, what causes this light, but somehow trust it. A growing confidence building in your gut is telling you that you are meant to be. At the top, a triangular device sits silently on the floor. It appears to be hewn from a strange metal. Briefly, small traces of light sparkle across the surface, akin to an unclouded starlit night. The path stops over the center of the device, and that is where you choose to stand. Suddenly and silently, the device begins to move. The bluish hue of the top begins to fade as all light seems to fade from existence. You find yourself drawn to looking upward as the last remaining light dwindles. Suddenly, a flash! You feel swept off your feet as lights and colors of black, blues, and purples come pouring into the room from a singular point above you. Marvelous images of constellations, galaxies, and planets trail over your skin as the room seems to stretch and bend. Lightning shoots above and within these images as everything lights up, and then another flash. You find yourself on board a mighty vessel. The name, Chosen's Gaze, emerges in your mind as you walk to a nearby viewport. You're in space, among stars never named, planets undominated, and stories untold. But amidst all this majesty, there is one jewel that catches your eye. A massive orb-like coliseum in the distance, shrouded in greenery, circled by winged creatures lazily gliding about. Waterfalls of endless trail head off the edge and seemingly disappear among the stars. It is here your ship is headed. It is here where you begin to hear the footsteps of many moving about, the rising cheers and boasts of others. Welcome! A voice can be heard rising in your. Many questions you may have, many doubts may slow your step. But here, all are equal. Join your voice with others, raise them in a mighty chorus, and write your own story of triumph. Welcome to the Infinite Causeway. Hello and welcome, everyone. It has been a while. It's been about almost 2 freaking weeks. Has it been that long? Since the last stream? Jeez. For those of you who don't know, I've been out for a bit because I was really sick. Like the bio says, like I've talked about from time to time, I do struggle with chronic illness. Sometimes wheel falls off the bike randomly, and you crash, and you just work to try to get back on your 2 feet again, and try your best to keep moving forward. So this was the safest I felt to get back to doing this. I will be doing no cam streams probably for the next few streams. I'm not at 100% yet, but I wanted to get back in front of the camera, as it were, as soon as I felt healthy enough to be able to. But I knew it was going to be pushing it to be visible in front of the camera and to kind of like, be on and stuff like that. That would be an added thing. This also allows me the ability to operate and stream if, like, physically I'm not at 100%, like all the stuff that y'all don't have to be dealing with, like, like runny nose, or if my face is looking ragged and stuff like that. It still allows me to keep pushing for that consistency I tell y'all that I'm trying to hit and maintain. So if that means that y'all don't get to see my face for a little bit, but it means that I'm still able to put out streams, I would much rather do that, because then at least I'm putting in the work. So that's full transparency on how things are going to move there. Today, and honestly this week, is going to be a little bit different from normal weeks. As y'all know, we recently changed the hours from what used to be Monday, Friday, Saturday to Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, with tomorrow being 4th of July for at least those of us here in the U.S., even though my partner and I don't really crazy celebrate it or plan to go out anywhere, or get drunk or stuff like that. There's definitely the opportunity with her having off from work to we generally try to make the most of that time to spend some time together and hang out and kind of take it easy for that day. So I shifted some things around. So like I said, I wanted to make sure to be able to get back on and get streams going again. But that's also another reason why I'm doing something today, because there won't be any streams tomorrow. I'm working on getting a schedule out to you all this week. But the idea will generally be that it will be a stream today, a stream Thursday, and a stream Saturday. And as always, any bonus streams that can happen, will just pop up whenever available throughout the week. And I'm generally trying to get into the habit of posting either right as I'm going live or before it's going live, if it's one that's kind of more concretely planned in advance than before. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So as far as what we're going to be getting into today game wise, I have been so far behind. Before I got sick, if y'all remember, I think the last division stream I got to, it was either level 81 or 83 in the season pass, and I kept pushing because I wanted to get access to the exotic holster and the exotic shock rifle to be able to use. So I did hit level 100, but I have been behind. I ran out of time, so I missed the Guardians event and being able to finish the John League
because I was out sick and just like didn't even have any of the kind of energy to, be like gaming from the couch or stuff like that. For any of you that remember that, like growing up as kids, to where, if the controller was wireless, you could at least be under the blankets and stuff like that. Like I was way too far gone with how I was feeling to even have access to that. So I did miss out on some of those things. We do have the apparel event coming up. Should be here by tomorrow. Ava Garcia, though, is up for the Manhunt, as well as the ×2 experience for the Manhunt. So we'll be working on that as well, starting off in the Federal Triangle. If y'all remember, it was pretty lengthy the way they have this set up. So they only tell you where you're supposed to go one at a time, and only when you've completed the previous one. It at least artificially gives the feel that you are doing a lot, but for anyone that has been playing Division 2 for any length of time, you clearly know that the number of objectives that you are doing isn't really any different than how the manhunts used to be. I do kind of miss the sort of like transparency to where you could kind of see everything that you were going to be doing, plan for it, and you could kind of like hop around, go about it any kind of way. It seems like they're trying with this season, at least, maybe even this year, since we're in year 5 of the Division 2, they might be trying to go in more of a linear, like mission-based kind of thing. So like with John Yazzie, it was, all right, so we go to the choke, that's where we think he might be, find all the information, it sends you over to the tracks, you fight a different type of enemy there, which gives you information that sends you to where your bounty was getting smuggled to, which was the No Hope Hotel. You try to cut them off, you miss them just a little too late, and then your final fight at the Rayburn house. So maybe it's just because these are hostages that we're trying to get that are doing that. Maybe they're going to try this overall. So I can kind of see what it is that they're going for here. So it's not taking away from the gameplay necessarily, at least in my opinion. It was a little jarring starting off to be like, okay, wait, there's only one thing that I have to do now, and then it's kind of like as it goes. So unless I missed that somewhere, that also probably could help to let them know, like, hey, okay, it's not just going to be like a simple one and done kind of thing. It was nice to, because there's 2 bounties, it looks like now, for each target, as opposed to just going and doing the same events that you would have been doing normally, and then a final bounty. So it was kind of nice to, like, at a midway point and then at the end, test your skills up against harder enemies twice per target of the manhunt. So in that, I like that, and definitely like adds a little bit of challenge regardless of what difficulty that you're playing on, whether you're playing solo, whether you're playing with a team and whatnot. So that's nice. I'd be totally fine if they wanted to keep it that way for all manhunts going forward, as well as be very curious to see how things are going to end up, both once we get to the final target of Marie Singh, and then just finding out in total, A, what they were using everybody for, and then, what the little cutscene or reveal is going to be after we save her, if we're even able to save her. The last few manhunts, they have not ended the way that they normally would have, so very curious to see if whatever plots and twists that they have planned for us as well. So this is a main thing that I wanted to do. We, of course, have the Black Tusk missions, American History Museum, Grand Washington Hotel, Air and Space Museum, and then let's see, who do we have knocked off? Did it rotate back around? Is it going to be Roosevelt again? Let's see. All of these should have reset. Actually, hold on. Okay, no, so that wasn't an option. Because it was Capital. I hope it didn't switch back. We did what? Capital? If it's Roosevelt again, it's going to be really funny, because I feel like that's what it was last time. Yep. I think it's Capital. Oh, no, this is for Jupiter. I guess I could leave that there for that. Okay, so those are the only 3. Oh, wait, no. There's the other ones. Okay, so they're at Manning National Zoo. I was like, hold on a second. There's only 3 strongholds, but I keep forgetting Manning Zoo counts for 1. And I think, does White Oak? White Oak may count for 1, too. But yeah, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, if you really count all the things for the Manhunt, and then 10, obviously, for Tidal Basin after that. So I'm thinking, just kind of energy-wise, it's funny, I can already feel myself getting a little winded from talking. So in the interest of making sure to like knock out the priority stuff, just in case I do have a fatigue crash. So let's start off with the Manhunt stuff first. So Federal Triangle, Eclipse Fuel Depot. Let me check the projects. We have a Hyena Hunt. We have a New York City. We have Shade Requisition. Alright, yeah, so we're doing well component-wise for these things. Especially helps for the ones that are already, like, maxed out. So then at least you're not just picking up stuff just because. Let's see what we get from here. Get a vial. I think I already have one. But let's see what the stats dropped as. Yeah. 9-0 status, 9-8 hazard. Yeah. This one can go. I also recently came up with a fun... I don't remember if I had made it last time I saw y'all, but a fun status build one we can try out. It's Technician, and it works by spreading the damage around. So it works with the Eclipse protocol. So I do status effect damage from the shock from my rifle, and I'm running the Firestarter Chem tool, and enemies that die, it spreads on kill to enemies within 10 meters, and it refreshes half of the duration, but also running with the vial mask, it adds additional debuff. So even though, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they being massive designed it so that pestilence doesn't proc with Eclipse protocol, you at least get somewhat of that kind of effect, because it's the same type of like that kind of like poison type debuff damage, and it's been very nice, especially in the instances where you have enemies that hide and cover and whatnot. Despite my best efforts, my inventory has gotten pretty packed again. But let's start heading towards...
Hey, good looking.
that Eclipse Protocol Depot. And as usual, let's see what kind of trouble we can get into. Curious to see where this mission goes. Also have to be a little careful because I am running the Technician Specialization weapon, which is the launcher, as opposed to... So look at that. Boom, 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 boom. as opposed to the minigun. So I'm not getting any armor on kill. And I'm not running Revive Hive. Instead, I'm running the, is this the Striker? Am I running the Striker here? Yeah, I'm running the Striker drone. So I do have additional firepower to kind of assist with aggro. But dead is dead. At least with this current setup that I have. But as you can see, this layout is pretty damn potent. Looks like people are already fighting here. I'm gonna try to get up here to cover. Also makes the shock rifle very potent because with it being able to do its own debuff of shock, any enemies within range as well, like if I catch them off guard and in one spot, that's a whole lot of enemies that just got shocked. Got them with the fire.
Good job.
That also helps too because with this setup, both with Eclipse Protocol and Technician being geared towards tech builds, it allows me to be at max tech. So anything that I use is going to be at its most potent, not counting overdrives, of course. So we'll see if the enemy comes from the front, from the side, or from the rear here. Those look like they're just on patrol. Y'all know I love my LMGs. Am I running the Frenzy or the... Okay, yeah, I am running the Frenzy.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
I think they're underneath me. Yep. Yeah, I do miss. I am reduced somewhat in the amount of damage that I do.
Black Tusk activity at the Department of Justice.
Alright. Department of Justice bounty. Let's restock on ammo, then head out that way. Another nice thing as well is having tech in general, but having tech maxed also is extremely handy when it comes to abilities that you have more than one usage of. Like for instance with the Kim launcher. So you get not only more ammo to use, but it also refills much faster. Oh, if this crit hit damage had been higher. Okay, bounties. Is this the right one? What did I say for the Manhunt? Department of Justice? This is the only one. I guess maybe it's saying they're at the Department of Justice. We'll hit the safe house over there.
Target near you.
Another nice thing is, too, because I thought about using other things for the launcher. Like, there's the oxidizer, which is another one that's kind of disappointing as well, because I believe the oxidizer doesn't work with debuff stats, too, which is unfortunate. It's just like, don't give us all these cool toys and then not let us synergize them with other things. I feel like also in games like this to where it's either encouraged or that's what some of your player base is going to do, which is going to push how high they can go with the difficulties. If things can't synergize, they're going to get left behind because they're not going to be as potent in future difficulties or higher difficulties. Let's just run. So it's kind of a bummer with that, but I also thought of things like the
Target is near you, Agent.
the quick-crete stuff, riot foam. There we go. With the riot foam and using that, but I was interested in that, but what had me go for the fire was fire destabilizes the enemy. Like, it causes them to panic, gets them out of cover, and things like that, as well as doing damage. So it's kind of like the happy medium between the two, I felt like. Like, riot foam is nice, but overall, like, yeah, it pops the enemy up out of cover, but it keeps them there. And then you have Firestarter, where it has it to you at least get the availability to do damage while you also have the enemy out of cover. So I felt like that was a better option. Or also, I forgot I hadn't turned off I had the thought, or I was like, you know what? I've never tried running all the directives just out in the open world. Why don't I do that? And the difference, y'all, in how quickly I was leveling up was ridiculous. I just have the drone chase that guy down. Look at that. Look at that damage. The nice thing is, too, is the Eclipse Protocol set seems to also proc off of whatever stats you cause to trigger from enemies' abilities. So, like, popping a weak point that causes enemies to be shocked will spread to other enemies. So it also helps, too, to where A, it doesn't lock you into only running certain types of weapons, and B, it allows way more variety with the Eclipse pack. These weren't the most, like, ideal ones that I wanted to run with for running all the directives. Like, one of them is cool skills, I believe it's called. So anytime I use one skill, it automatically puts the other one on cooldown. But at least running tech, it helps, and also with running two tech skills that already have short cooldowns. So those two things combined, they come back pretty quickly. Like, I have a max of 7, you can already see, even though I activated the drone and it pushed the Firestarter back some. See, like, that puts it on 20 seconds. Like, it's already at 10 seconds here, so it's not running full tech doesn't make it too punishing. See this?
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Probably gonna get taken down right here. Reload. Like I said, I gotta move a little more careful. I don't have Revive Hive. Could I? Yes. But also kind of wanted to walk a little on the wild side and see what kind of impact I could have by just investing in full tech damage. Like, granted, I could do like Firestarter. Ooh, using armor kit grants 1+ skill damage, or 1+ skill tier, so it gives me overcharge for and a cooldown of 1 minute. Ooh, that actually might. It's almost max crit chance. I'm gonna hold on to that. So I can reroll that for crit damage, and it gives me increased skill duration. Another thing that's nice too, I hope they don't nerf this, is how you gain, like, I forget what triggers it, but you get full magazine of shock ammo. As opposed to, like, oh, it triggers randomly and you only get it for one type. Come on, stand up, buddy. You know you want to.
That's the target, Agent.
There you go. Now we got everybody shot. Set them on fire. Got the drone in there doing work. Gonna use an armor kit real quick. They come in this way. If they do, it'll be perfect. I'll have to take them down very quickly because they're able to shoot up at me. Drones, look at that. Rank 6 drone. Oh my god. It's about to kill him. Holy crap.
Great. Another stop on the worst tour of the city. Like, Navy Plaza's cool, I guess. But unless you really like military history or like a true patriot or some shit, it's just like a pit with flagpoles.
Agent, get to Navy Plaza. Target down. Good job. That's another one down. Good job, Agent.
Like, jeez. Increase ground control damage. What is ground control? Increase you and your allies' total weapon and skill damage by 15% when at full armor. When you repair an ally, you and all allies within 5 meters of you also repaired for 60% of that amount. I don't really run with allies, but I could increase my damage by 25% when at full armor. I kind of want to try this out just to, you know, play around with it. Yeah, we're gonna run out of space. We are gonna run out of a lot of space. This is, oh, a carbine. Please be good roll. All right, it's decent. Not the best, but it's decent. And I need more carbines anyway. So I want to make room for that for sure. Excuse me. Only thing is, I don't know what I want to get rid of. And anything that I could get rid of is the kind that I would want to put in a stash. Because I had kind of trimmed down so like capacitor. I also saw, I was looking around on Reddit to see recommended Eclipse protocol. A lot of people were saying to run capacitor with this one. Because it increases your weapon damage for every skill tier. So 7.5 times 6 is like, what is that, like 45%? Let me double check my math real quick. Yeah, 45% damage. And shooting enemies increases your skill damage. Oh, it actually does do more damage. I don't think it has as good of stability, though. It's got a smaller magazine as well. Let's see, what can I get rid of? This. This should hopefully free up some space. As you can see, I got a lot of stuff that just needs to get recalibrated. That's all stuff that can get done off stream. This was a recalibrate. Probably have to run some summits to find better Eclipse protocol. This one was a recalibrate. So let's get rid of some stuff. Freed up 2 spots. So we'll bring in the carbine. I'm really curious about this clutch. If you're below 15% armor, critical hits repair 2.5 missing armor. Kills allow you to repair up to 100% armor for 4 to 10 seconds based on your number of core attributes. Because I'm curious, so is this saying in conjunction with this? So kills only allow me to repair up to 100% armor if I'm below 15%? Or if this is when I'm below 15%, critical hits repair 2.5% missing armor. But then in general, kills allow me to repair up to 100% armor. It ran with high stats and one crit roll. So I could try that out. So then we're supposed to go to Navy Plaza. I'm going to head to the safe house real quick. And I'm going to run to the bathroom. So I'm going to hit y'all with a quick be right back. Won't be more than just a few minutes. I'm also going to... I forgot I didn't take one of my meds today. So I'm going to go run and take that. I'll be back in a couple minutes. For those of you that don't know, for the OGs who already do know, I run ads when I be right back so that y'all aren't missing anything in the game. But it's the only way for us streamers to get rid of the pre-rolls. So that anybody that's new, anybody that's not running Turbo, anybody that's not subscribed to the stream, if you're coming in, you don't have to deal with ads. So I'll be back in just a couple minutes. All right, my friends, I have returned. Oh, okay. Off to Navy Plaza. Should be in for a good fight there. And that brings us to... Just need one more after that. Now it's bringing me by more enemies.
Only the true sons are willing to do what needs to be done. There are others out there trying to pit you against us, telling you we're bad people. But the only bad people are those who sit idly by while the world tears itself apart.
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded by hostiles.
Very curious where this year of Division is going to go, if I were to be honest. The whole, the Sokolova reveal, the Fei Lao betrayal, all that stuff seemed, pretty wild. And then if you add to that, I want to get a little closer. Crap, is that a patrol? If you add to that, the fact that the Shade Agents killed her brother, who was in the Black Tusk, I'm sure it's more than a little personal for her now. Just a little bit. Yeah, get the medic, get the medic. Yeah, see, the capacitor kicks a lot. It's doing a lot of damage, but it's definitely not as stable. It'd probably be a lot better if I were running braced over a glass cannon.
Heavily armored hostile. Detected.
Yeah, get the elite. God, that is so much damage. I'm assuming I've been operating under the pretense that when Glass Cannon talks about damage, it means any damage, any type of damage that you put out. Let's see, can we get them? Why is it not? There it is. Like, why is it not setting off or anything?
Well done.
Explosive resistance. I think they still come from this way.
Reinforcements incoming. Incoming hostiles detected.
Yep, here they come. Anybody else? Shotgunners just running to their doom.
Armored hostile detected.
Reinforcements just ran into trouble. Looks like it was a True Sons patrol. I can't afford to look too far away because then I'll be a sitting duck. I'd be a little less worried if it weren't for the fact that this is an elite with an RPG. I'm gonna wait for them to stand up so I can just put a whole lot of hurting on them. There we go.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Cool. Archives. It's like being back in the library at Kenley. Except, you know, more boring. And with less people making out in the stacks. Where the hell are you taking me?
We're closing in on them. Even
If
at
this
the National Archives.
reaches... Wow.
Supply room access unlocked.
And that was from a red bar. Just further goes to prove why I do not like the Black Tusk Grenadier units. Did they kill all the reinforcements? I'm gonna guess yes, since that one Black Tusk was able to switch their priority to coming after me. Oh, there they are. Oh wait, no, that's a supply convoy. So yeah, maybe they were taken out. They must have had some elites in that patrol group that the GTF ran into. Normally they don't really go down to one group, but they also, as far as Black Tusk go, they don't do the best against them. I think I'm just gonna switch to St. Elmo. I just like that one overall better. It's got more ammo. It does more damage in the fact that it shoots faster. And it has that additional aspect to shock. the enemies. Alright, where does that need to go next? Hotel 2. Doesn't give any information about them, which is kind of a bummer. Like the other bounties, normally it's like, so-and-so's been doing a thing here, and
Target
this is
is
why
nearby.
they need to die. Doggone it. I swear, sometimes the design enjoys being random enough to force you to take the long way around to some entrances. So that's normally a doorway you can go through. But it's like, nah, what if you had to work for it, though?
Fuck! They're moving!
Where'd they go? Yeah, see, and just so much more precise. Especially since I'm not running braced. I feel like the what is it? Future tech is somewhere if I wanted to do a fusion of tech and offense.
Serious trauma detected.
Yep, see, dead.
Agent vital signs 0.
That one was just poorly planned out on my part. Granted, I wasn't anticipating a group behind me getting aggroed to come up and try to kill me, but it also wouldn't have hurt if I had looked around first instead of having tunnel vision on that group that was right there, because normally I don't engage that closely unless I'm specifically running a build or any form of weapons setup where I just like push and just get up in the enemy's faces like that. But if I had kept my head on a swivel and seen that there were a few enemies over there, I would have taken them out first, then pushed from up there. And honestly, I felt like it would have been the better setup anyway, because there would have been no cover on the stairs. That's part of the reason why I died, is I had to run all the way down from the stairs to try to find cover. So they can shoot at me while I'm trying to find cover, and then any cover that I have, I go on one side, I can get shot in the back while I'm shooting in front of me, and then the other side, I get shot in the back while I'm shooting in front of me the other way. As opposed to taking out the enemies on the other side of the street, and then just being able to take pot shots at the enemy while they're forced to run down to me. Hold on a second, y'all. I'm getting ready to sneeze. Oof, bless me. I want to make sure I didn't blow y'all's ears out. see. Sometimes the secret bounty dude is down here. No, doesn't look like he's here this time. But yeah, oh my god, if the Eclipse protocol worked with this, which another thing, at least like in-game lore-wise, is kind of a bummer, is because Pestilence is, I believe, specifically Eclipse tech, if not Eclipse inspired. So you have Eclipse protocol that won't work with their own thing. Like, the only thing I can see is that it obviously would be a wee bit overpowered. But the Pestilence already has it built in to spread its poison cloud on death. See, here we go. Anybody coming to the other side? Now you gotta run down the stairs. That might have been the one that killed me. Where are you going? So, are they moving quickly? Yeah. Yeah, this one's not the best. So there's an open area on the other side. I believe this is the same room in which you have to go in and secure the... Is it the Declaration of Independence? I think it's the Constitution. So usually come in from that side where I'm looking. This side sucks because there's like little to no cover. There's nowhere for you to hide. In some instances, the enemies just keep pouring out at you. So it's one of those to where if you're not familiar with the buildings and stuff like that and realizing that you're doing a mirror version of the mission, you can get killed pretty quickly because you come in there thinking, oh, I'll get cover. You push in too far, you can't get out, and then you get pincered in that hallway. I learned that the hard way the first time, which it's always like, you know, you're gonna have a higher chance of something like that happening to you as you're learning the game. Like that just happens. Does it suck? Yes. Of that, I am not arguing.
They're coming down the flag!
I did not see that guy when I was going for the door. Did y'all see him? I feel like the dude just spawned out of nowhere. Yeah, we're gonna have to proceed carefully because they're... Yeah. So it set them off above ground. So they're already alerted to me. It's not like there's a mechanic here for like suppressors or stuff. It's just sometimes it happens. Which is unfortunate because in some ways it is a little bit more realistic for them to, like, you know, hear like, oh, there's gunfire in the lower levels. But in this particular instance, it definitely sucks because you can end up running into enemies and getting screwed over in areas where you normally wouldn't have any combat. So just want to be careful So you don't. That's the last place you want to run into any kind of spawn closets, stuff like that. Okay, I think that's it for this room. I'm gonna bring the drone out just to be safe. One of the things I'm glad that they even moderately fixed was the drones. There was a period of time they broke something in the patches where the drones would get lost. Back in these places where you're inside, they would, I guess in their design to not be all up on you, they kind of orbit you, but it would lead to them getting stuck in corners. And even though they fly, you would think they'd be able to, you know, pop out and get around. They would not. So a lot of times you would end up having to destroy them to then resummon them, or be screwed and not be able to use them inside at all, which a lot of missions and stuff, you know, I'd say somewhere between 25 and 33, like conservatively, would be inside, especially when you're first starting off. And if you don't have a build for better cooldowns, because everything didn't used to have the cooldowns that they do now, you would kind of be SOL. Wait, are they outside? Oh, okay. So they cut out. So normally what happens is this is where you come in. You come in through here. You go in there where I was trying to open the door. There's like big library type space in there. You fight the enemies, clear them out, and then it sends you down the hallway. And that room that I just fought in, like these doors are closed. Then you clear out those enemies, which opens these doors. But then you go down and work back your way through where I came, where I like rappelled down. So instead of having me do mirror, but not 100% mirror, because it looks like I don't have to fight those enemies in that previous room. I need to move carefully, because then it looks like it still wants me to go out. Yeah, I already see stuff out here. So let's... It's funny, because I feel like the Eclipse Protocol debuff works faster than the Pestilence, which is wild. Oh, see, here's a good example. See how the drone is stuck in there? And I just hit the button that is supposed to be the recall. Yeah, see, now it's not even responding. Yes, I'm going to have to destroy it. So what it's looking like is happening right now. Oh, so tempted. I may need to figure out how to grab that one. Is this one? What's the difference between these two? Does it have more? Oh, it does. For 0.7 more, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of it. It looks like these random enemies out here were tied to spawning, so that might be why if I go back in, it's gonna open that bookstore library thing. Yep. See, so it was just a weird thing for whatever reason. It had those random enemies tied to like an invisible counter of like this many need to be killed before this next area can be activated. Let's get them all in here. Look at that. And the shots just keep on coming. When they're taking debuff damage, that's what that beaker symbol is.
Target spotted, Sheriff.
God damn it! Unloading on target.
I don't what?
This'll make your ears ring. Let's find him. He could be anywhere.
My stuff is it's falling through the floor. That was weird. Did y'all see that? I'm gonna have to go look after we take
Get
him
to the
out.
Viewpoint Museum. We found Eva. You got the target. Nice.
Yeah, there's no
Streets,
holes,
one bad
so it was
guy
just
at a
bugging
time.
out and
Nicely
shooting,
done, Sheriff.
falling through the floor. All right, now I gotta do the Viewpoint Museum mission. I don't know if I have the deflector damage, so I'm gonna check. I don't know why I just compared two different increased ground control proximity repair. What is this? Is this the backpack? 1600. Wow. Well, I don't have to worry about that because that's not what I'm getting it for. I just want the 4. So I would just run mask, gloves, knees, holster to get that 25% increase. I'd probably run that with the minigun. Essentially everything to like get and keep my armor up as high as possible. And after this, it's definitely going to need to be a stop at the FOB to drop some of this stuff off. Ooh. Almost max weapon damage and change that. Unbreakable. That would probably go well. It would definitely have to be highly reliant on like I would want to grind it out so that it's the future project, whatever it is, to where the secondary attributes roll crit so that I can re-roll the top, I guess, the tech to be offense. And then I'm trying to think. if I wanted to switch it up and run something like this for a Badger Tough, so I wanted to roll a backpack and chest talent that helped with armor. So it would be like unbreakable on the chest, and then I forget what it's called, but it has a scorpion for the symbol, to where the backpack talent is in killing enemies like repairs armor. So you'd get armor on kill from a backpack talent, and then armor on kill from using the minigun, so that you're always topped off. That would be the most stable way to run it. The next way to be just trying to pour in as much damage as possible would then be to just do the future industries to get that 25% increase, another 30% from perfect glass cannon, and then vigilance on the backpack for, what is that, like 20? Where is it? 25. So 55 plus another, what is that, 25? So 80% if it's, what is it, additive? %, increase in weapon damage. But then it would, like, you'd have to have it to where, like, you can't lose your armor, because then you're always losing that 25. So that's the trade-off. Which I feel like definitely it would be a build to work for when running with others. So if you've got people that either, like, someone's running a tank build, someone's running an in the face like SMG or shotgun runner type build, whatever the idea is, to where, like, the enemies are not focused on you, so it also reduces the chances of you getting hit. Solo is a little harder to pull off unless you're, like, really doing it from distance. Or if I wanted to run like let's say my FAL that has max optimal range and the White Death, so that I'm, like, sniping and everything, so it also, like, forces the enemies to have to come to me. I'd have to play around with that a little bit more if I'm playing indoors, because then, you know, I'm not always gonna have the advantage of you know, combat scenario layout, I guess, to where I'd have the enemies, like, completely at range. But yeah, that could be interesting. Another thing would be, I guess, running that, keep the glass cannon, keep the vigilance, and then do repair and revive, or maybe repair and turret. Because my thing is, if I have something that's constantly healing me, like, I wonder how much more efficient a repair drone would be at rank 6. Either way, it's going to be something to try out. But, alright, so we can move on to the next thing. Let's see. So, 13-2 weapons for the knees. What do I have for striker? Where is it? Oh, it is maxed. I do not need that. Aces and eights I'm not too worried about. Yeah, everything else can go. Oh, dang, theater got locked down. I always forget where some of these are. Here we go. This is viewpoint. Does this show up as a bounty? Yep. Ava Garcia has been taken by the Black Tusk to the Viewpoint Museum. Agent, without Ava, we've lost the voice of the castle. Go get our radio girl back. Thought I heard a voice. You know what? I'm gonna go out and around. It's gonna be a lot quicker. Oh, let me just fast travel there. Yeah. Could I have just run an extra block? Yes. Would you run an extra block if you could teleport? I think not. Okay, same thing here, because they're close enough to where they would be a problem. Like, they would definitely try and bum rush me from behind. So we're just going to clear them out.
Eva's been through a lot. She was finally starting to open up. We need to get her back.
Oh, we got a little sniper. Try this on. I think that's everybody. I don't know who they were fighting with. Stinger charges is another one. Not using as the revive, but for bleed. That it does a lot of damage. Like, it does initial damage and then the bleed damage. I'd be very curious how much more of a threat it would be. Look at that shock for everybody. I'm kind of curious what the cooldown would be. There's a restorer hive. I could use that also to like keep my health up. Refill speed 14. I gotta wait for it to refill. Did he get him? I think he did. It's also going to be extra nasty too because the hive has a radius that that grows based off of your tech level. So you could also use it to kind of like cut off an enemy's either escape or advance. And even if they have the health or armor to push through it, they're not only going to be taking initial damage, they will be taking bleed damage on top of everything else. So nothing like having a good strategy to punish enemy movement. Gotta see if we can. Over here, yeah. Like, look at the range on this. The thing is, I wish it like didn't arc so bad. Look at that. So much damage. It didn't even use up all of its charges. Only got halfway. And they're both low cooldowns. I went the wrong way. I don't know how many times I've run through this mission, especially recently. It's interesting too because so it had 7, and then you destroy it, and then it went down below that to have to build itself back up again. It should definitely, however many charges it had left when you deactivated it, should be where it stays. Oh, that's an RPG.
Vital signs critical.
Heck did I just take damage from? I saw that, right? Oh yeah, crap. Let me make sure it's running the right mods right now. Max duration, max range. One thing I figured out how to get a workaround for the times of it getting stuck every so often, especially if you're changing rooms, just make sure to like recall it to you.
Target's out of sight.
And you're shocked, you're dead. Now the hive's just wiping any out that run along those staircases. I'm sure y'all saw that. Here we go, there goes another one. See? They're right above me. So we'll go like right here. They don't have too much of an angle on me here. Actually, hold on. I'm gonna go right here.
Serious trauma detected.
So I want to get somewhere to where I wouldn't be exposed from the side. There we go. Yeah, definitely going through armor kits a lot more. I've been playing with a different build for so long, I like remind myself to operate with a different strategy.
Hey, a block.
See if I can get the hive over there. Not yet. Yeah, see, the angle of this thing is... it's not the best. But at least, like, from the right, if they try to push, they gotta get really freaking close. Yeah, see? So, there's that perfect example I was saying of cutting off the enemy's ability to flank you. Kind of playing with fire here. Let's get some armor back.
Rogue agent detected.
Oh, that's not cool. Okay, they might hack my stuff.
Rogue striker drone detected. Incinerator turret detected. Hostile incinerator turret
Are
detected.
you freaking kidding me? Is there one or two? Yeah, they're gonna kill me. I'm gonna get flanked like crazy.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Yeah. So,
Agent
I was not
armor
prepared
size
for that
0.
one. Let's go right here. I should have just switched to the Scorpio. I was so focused on maintaining the run with the build that I didn't even think about, that the weapons would make a difference. Hey, what's up, Pompano? Scorpio, yeah, the shotgun. I'm gonna stay with the burn though, I think. Just got out of work. How'd it go? Oh, yeah, that's true. Are you going to have to work like a double shift or something like that tomorrow? Nah. Oh, that's good. Oh, they close early. Even better. Good for y'all. Like, the workers shouldn't have to be stuck late on holidays. Increase allied skill efficiency and refresh their duration. Like, I'm real curious what this would do for me. Wait, is it the hunters that hack? Or do rogue agents hack your stuff too? I don't remember. I'm kind of curious. Let's crap. Yeah, I'm kind of curious now. Let's see. So, more duration. I'm not running demolition, so I can't increase its damage. More duration. I just gotta remember to switch to the Scorpio.
True Sons have been using the broadcasting capabilities of the Viewpoint Museum to coordinate and motivate their troops. We have word they're going offline for maintenance, meaning they won't be able to call for reinforcements.
Only there until
Now's
4,
our
but it
chance.
closes at 6. Okay. What time do you start? It's like 8 to 4 kind of deal? Ten to 4, even better. Heck yeah. Only 6 hours.
Eva's been through a lot. She's finally starting to open up. We need to get her back.
Keep looking in the back, so I'm waiting for the black tusk. Yep. I knew they were going to be nosy. Ooh, definitely want this one. Holster, holster, holster. What can I get rid of? Crap. There isn't really anything. Oh, man. Buh. Wait, is it two of these? Picaro's holster. This is headshot damage. Yeah, I'd rather it be another offense. Alright, so I can get rid of this then. Hey, Larry. Happy Monday. Sorry if I missed your message earlier. In the middle of trying to figure out the best way to stay alive with this new build. Just watch the health go. I had already forgotten, unfortunately, that the enemies spawned up this way. Otherwise, I would have thrown it on top of the barriers here. A classic, Larry. A classic. Yeah, definitely feeling that. Okay, I guess there aren't any more coming. Okay. Let's try and get it right on top of this. was also smart how they had it set up, how it has like the 3 little feet. So it actually even visually looks like it would be able to stay where you put it. Like all the little stuff added to that to have it. Like, yep, it's going to be designed to... It's holding on by its little feet there. And with the Artificer, it just keeps buffing its health and damage. Oh, everybody keeps getting shocked because of the debuff. I don't know why the turret stopped shooting. The only downside, I believe, is that whatever you're using needs to be in range of the Artificer. Because I'd prefer to have the Striker drone. Really knows how much more damage I would do. Definitely gotta get rid of that sniper. Especially tech skills like this are really nice to where they'll indirectly pinpoint where the enemy is. Helps a lot when you're running directives that like remove the enemy off of your mini-map. Right back for water. Alright, Larry. Ooh, almost max skill duration. I know I don't have one of those. I started the process before I got really sick of setting up a separate Excel book for my inventory to help organize things. So that way when I'm out and about, either on stream or off stream, I'll have the Excel sheet right next to me. Just to look at, to be like, ooh, this thing, let me pick this up. It's like, do I have this? Yep, I don't need it anymore. And that would definitely help me from loot hoarding. So what ends up happening is you grab something in the preparation of thinking that you're going to use it, and then you completely forget about it. And then when you finally do come around to coming across it again in your inventory, you don't even remember what you had it for. Sniper there in the back. Oh, we got 2 of them. Ooh, if I'm not careful, they will take me out. Really not trying to do this mission over again. Yeah, so It's nice. The Artificer. Now, if I really want to be a bully, we could do this. This is one of the design downside that sucks. When you're running directives that force cooldowns, is you gotta wait till you can replace something. So now we have mobile attack and stationary attack. I might try this with the rogue agents. If it doesn't work, then I'll just switch to offense. I don't know what the heck I just got stuck on. Deploy the strategy to boost dopamine. Nice! That sounds real smart, Larry. Well done. Turret right here. Because there's going to be enemies coming from straight ahead as well as from over here. So now that they don't know which way to shoot. Turret shooting at them from the side. End them both at the same time. $11 so far? Hell yeah, Larry. Way to go. Let's see what we have for cooldown. They're both 20. This is 246. So about a little over 4 minutes. This one is 263. I mean, they're both over 4 minutes. So I'm going to put the turret out first because it lasts longer. Then it's a 20-second cooldown. Then I'll throw out the drone. And then I'm going to stay in the back because remember, again, I do not have the hive. You know what? If I can be real sneaky, let's see if I can do this.
There, long gone.
Oh crap, did they knock it off? They whacked they shot the helicopter and it didn't have good enough grip. I wonder if that'll be like a good distraction. Cause they'll be like, crap, we have to take out the drone that's 1 floor below. I do want to, before the rogue agents come, I want to have the turret like right here. what I'm gonna... Oh, hold on. Someone trying to flank me. Switch. Let's go with the Allegro. Yes, I don't care that it has special ammo. Why not go get them?
Rogue agent detected.
All right, here we go.
Rogue assault turret detected. Hostile assault turret detected.
There we go. That's one. Wait, where's the other one? Muffin, how's it going? Hope you're doing fantastic. Hope you had a good weekend. Man, I'm just here powering through. Haven't been sick for like a week. Trying to get caught up on some Division content. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. It's greatly appreciated. $1989 bat. Ooh, very nice. I remember, I'm trying to think of which movie it was. Was it Forever? When they all had to work as a team and then they unveiled the other vehicles in the cave, and there was the bat wing, the bat boat, and the Batmobile. God, I remember, like, I still feel the chills I had just like geeking out about that as a kid. I had the toy Batwing for a hot minute. I think it was my Nana that got it for me. I think it was a Christmas present. Sorry if my replies are a little delayed, y'all. Your boy is still a little foggy in the brain. So my response time is a little muddy. Nope, don't bring anybody back. Oh crap, I should have put him at the top of the stairs. Make sure I'm not getting flanked. Got him. Oh, did they just drop an exotic? All right, we got Ava Garcia. I appreciate the understanding, Larry. I definitely don't enjoy not being at 100% with y'all, but at least I'm able to get a stream, man. I do wish, because I remember the first time it was the same way, too, that you at least, like, they had a little thing to where, like, you opened a door or had a short little conversation with them that you know, like, okay, I grabbed you, you're fine. Because remember the first time the first manhunt that we did, I was like, is it done? Did I get anybody? I'm going to grab this one simply because it just rolled with max crit hit chance. I'm not the biggest fan of stuff like this, where it's like, yeah, it increases skill damage by 30%, but only for 3 seconds. Granted, it looks like any time you shoot an enemy, and there's no cooldown. But the fact that I could max out the crit damage, so I mean, play around with that for a tech build works for me. And then everything else I'm just going to get rid of. I already have a max chameleon, I believe. Mark for recalibration. I got too much stuff, y'all. Your boy is overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. I really like the Heartbreaker, too. Because, like, not only does it increase assault and LMG damage by 15%, it increases weapon handling by 15%. I can still run Revive Hive, but then it also does additional damage to pulsed enemies, which then causes other enemies to be pulsed. And it also not only provides a counter for directives that remove enemies showing up on your minimap, but also allows you to proceed safely in whatever encounter you're dealing with, whether it be a mission, whether it be a raid, whether it be a bounty. Only downside is you lose out on some of your crit chance and crit damage because you're running a gear set. Because you lose some of your stats. Is this one that I'm keeping? Yeah, is that one? Why? Why am I keeping this? I think I'm going to get rid of it. I'm not even going to question it. It's another way that's helping me keep from keeping loot longer than I need to. Alright. Rest of the stuff's going to the mailbox. Back to the castle to hear some more audio. Let's see how much crazier... How much crazier? How much more crazier? How much crazier? I think how much crazier sounds accurate. This story's gonna get...
Hey, Agent. It's Wally. Jack's been picking up some strange intel on the mobile Shade server. Meet me at the castle if you want to know more.
It's good to be back home. Thanks for coming for me. You didn't have to. Well, hope to see you around. And don't forget to listen to my show. We've all got a job to do, and mine's a pretty sweet gig.
Alright. Oh, okay, it's just showing the upgrade. Now we're actually, like, building up the castle. So I'm assuming something's gonna happen to the White House. If we're... Not only with the White House having been hit, which I think, what? Was this the second time? Either Black Tusk showed up and snatched the acting president that betrayed us and worked with the Black Tusk, or bro just snuck out. Let's find out what this does. Oh, nice, Larry. Nothing beats being your own hype man. It's one of the great ways to get through the day, the week, the month, the year.
Hey, Agent. You ever dream of infiltrating a secret government lab? For the past couple of months, Jack has been picking up some weird comms on the mobile shade server. We tracked a signal to this super high-tech underground bunker running this special security protocol. I've never seen a program like this. It is not friendly to shade tech. To get further than the lobby, you'll need to leave your gear. There's something already programmed in Isaac's code that will give you access. Agent, I need you to go to the facility, enter the program, and overload it so I can access their systems and get more intel on the Black Tusk and their operation.
Huh?
Once you enter the facility, you'll lose access to your shade tech. Your gear won't work the same. If you're willing to take the descent into the program, you can overload the AI so I can access the database and get more intel on the Black Tusk. The program is impressive. Someone went to a lot of trouble to protect the facility. I know it's not ideal walking in without your gear into what may be a death trap, but hey, you should be used to that, Agent. To run the program, you'll need to use the simulation gear and weapons. For the simulation, you won't be an agent. Now you're like a cool new green operator. The radio comms don't work in the facility, so Isaac will be your guide while I access the database. Have fun overloading the system. I mean, good luck, Agent.
Oh yeah, I definitely hear you, Larry. That's one of the things that I both enjoy that my stream can be for people, and that I also do myself. Is I like when a stream has like really chill vibes, and I'll usually, like, if I'm not streaming, sometimes if I'm working on something like in Word or Excel, or working on stream stuff in the just like on the side or in the background, then I throw up somebody's stream, anybody that like I follow or stuff like that. Like sometimes I'll have them up and just kind of like casually listening to them while I'm working on something else. And I always thought stuff like that's pretty cool. Let's see. So is a descent tied to the story? It's like collectibles, of maybe like gives you additional information. It looks like it might be it. Let's check the see how much I have. Wait, why did it do that? I just want to see the XP information. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so just past 75% of all the accessible XP. Oh, dang. Kinley College was available through this. And then... yeah, so then this week will be the first start of Ava League and the Escalation apparel event. Already done with the season pass, so I'm glad to not have to be worrying about that. See, has anybody... whoops, not that. Has anybody come back since the new season? Nope. Dang, everybody said, I'm done. Dang. I don't blame them. But dang. If you enjoy shooters, Larry, I would say overall, like, number one, definitely, like, that has to be a thing to, enjoy shooters. But yeah, there is a lot to do. One of the things that I enjoy and why I recommend it to people is I feel like despite the bugginess, despite the ups and downs of Division Two's release, as well as like some of the patches and everything, where it is right now, it's more or less like in a good state, as well as I feel like this is one of the rare looter shooters to where you can truly play your way. You have a lot of stuff, like, as much as I love and have a lot of good memories with Destiny that I use as, like, because there's only, like, so many AAA shooters. So it's less about, oh, Vagabond's just trying to rag on Destiny, but more it's like I don't really have other as good examples to use to, like, try to have it, like, across the board, one-to-one example. But you generally have a lot of games with, like, looter shooters where you just kind of get dropped in. Everybody's on the same difficulty. And it's like, yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do feel like there's something to be said for people being able to choose how they want to go. Like Outriders, for another one, which is an example of one that could have been better, but totally bombed. Or Anthem, another one that could have been better, but bombed. Have it to where you can choose. So everybody's adventure is more or less the same. Like, everybody's going to get the same missions that they can pull from and stuff like that. But it's like you can choose how far into the deep end you want to go. Like, if you're new to looter shooters, you can play on normal, and you can do everything in the game on normal except for raids. So all the DLC, all the bounties, all the special missions and stuff like that. So you, like, if you never want to step outside of normal, you can do that. If you only want to be tested on hard, challenging, or heroic by upgrading the control points, by completing certain missions, you can do that. And I think, like, that is the kind of stuff that really gets people a good rapport with your game, because they truly choose. So if like a player feels overwhelmed, they still have it within their power to, like, self-reflect and be like, okay, am I overwhelmed because this is bad design, or am I overwhelmed because I don't have the correct loot or gear to be pursuing whatever objective that it is that I'm pursuing? I also feel like Division is also one of those games to where, like, a lot of looter shooters, if you're watching somebody play that isn't just starting off, it like, all of them are more or less going to seem overwhelming. But the Division is one to, like, you can very quickly pick it up and be like, gun go pew pew. I like this gun that pew pew better than this gun pew pew. I want number go up. I run out, get bigger, badder, so number go up. And it's like, then you just figure that out. And you very rarely, unless you really get to the point where you want to, like, min-max and stuff like that, have to go outside of the game to find stuff. You don't have to go outside the game to matchmake. You don't have to go outside of the game to figure out how to do a certain thing and stuff like that. That's one of the things that, like, hurts Destiny and, like, games like that, to where, like, all this stuff's in there. Even like, let's say you're playing solo and you go down somewhere. Like, if you're like, oh no, I'm right at the boss and I don't want to die, they have a really cool system to where, like, you can essentially, like, shoot up a flare. Now, granted, this game is older, so it might take a while, but it's still a really cool system. And if there's other players out there that want to join your game, it sends out a flare to them to be like, hey, this player needs help. If your matchmaking is open, and then they'll come in. I've used it maybe less than a handful of times when I was first getting in and playing, because then you get to a certain point where you're like, I'll start it over, it's fine. But it's cool stuff like that. So yeah, if you are the type that likes looter shooters or have an interest in trying looter shooters, I definitely recommend the Division 2 as one to try out. And if you end up, like, really, really liking it, if you've never played Division 1, I definitely recommend trying out Division 1, especially right now if you're going to be playing on PC with it being a Steam sale and you can get them through Steam. I'm playing off of Ubisoft Connect. I don't know if there's any like performance differences. I know Ubisoft at times has like certain issues that can be really frustrating, like random crashes and stuff that are not on the player, but more so on the design of the game. Or like with a lot of these AAA games, they patch one thing and then wildly break another. So where like sometimes those things crop their head up, but it's never been so bad where it's like I've sworn off of the Division. As a multiplayer, multi-platform, unfortunately it's not. That is one of the biggest complaints I would have about how Massive has gone about this game, is I feel like looter shooters, there's no excuse, especially in the last like 5+ years, for these to not be cross-platform. But neither of the games, like whatever console you get it on, is the only one you can play on. If that's changed recently, I would love to have somebody tell me that, but I have not seen anything where that's been the case. So if you want to play with somebody on PC, you got to get it on PC. You want to play with somebody on Xbox, you got to get it on Xbox. I don't even think it's cross-platform across consoles either. So I don't even think like Xbox can play with PlayStation. The only thing that I think that it might be is I think like older gen can play with newer gen. So like older Xbox can play with newer Xbox and vice versa, but I think that's about it. Oh, if you're on PC, yeah, we can definitely play. All it requires is having the tag. I would double check here while I've got in front of the computer right now. Let me see. Because I don't want to say like, oh, if you get it on Steam, Steam can play with Ubisoft Connect. Because my first assumption would be like we're all still playing on the Ubisoft servers. But let me just double check. Yeah, so yeah, everybody on PC is using the Ubisoft service. So yeah, so if you get it on Steam, if you get it on Epic Games, if you get it in Ubisoft Connect, we would still be able to play, which is totally fine. And we just work stuff out. Like there's been a couple times I've helped Ryu off stream. I think before I got sick, like what was it, like a week, 2 weeks ago? What is time anymore? I was helping Ryu try to find loot, and I was taking them through the summit and stuff like that. So if it was your first time playing though, Larry, and we lined up some time to play, I'd probably, just for the fun of it, just to rediscover some love for the game, I'd probably just end up starting a new agent, and then we would both just be running new agents. Like I have no problem doing that with you, and then that way you can get the pure experience, as opposed to if I jumped in with the character that I had now, because then the game would scale to me, and then I feel like it would kind of also throw off your expectations of what the game would be like, because sometimes it gets a little wonky, and like the enemy scales to the higher level person you're playing with, and they just obliterate the lower level person, and the other person's like, well, I don't want to play this game sucks. So you have people of all like the same level. Yeah, definitely. If you can afford it, I would definitely recommend, especially if it's on sale, getting, I think it's called the Ultimate Edition. Then that way you get the base game, you get the only expansion that came out, Warlords of New York. So once you finish all the DC stuff, then you can go to New York. It adds 10 extra levels. It adds another specialization. It adds new weapons and stuff like that. Some of it was already like added to the game, but overall then like you wouldn't be locked out of any additional world content if you ended up really enjoying the game. And then I would also add you to the Division guild thing that I'm head of. It's like pretty dead, as y'all already saw. Like I got invited and then found out if people are inactive for 90 days or more, it just promotes whoever's left. So I just logged in one day a couple years back and found out that I was in charge, because even the leader just quit and walked away. So it's just me and Ryu just chilling. I might just purge everybody except for Ryu and I in here, and then just remake this into like the Vagabond Guild. Gotta fix your audio as well. Yeah, it's I mean, but like I said, like it's whatever works with you. Like I'm never gonna pressure people into playing with me. I don't know if there's text in this game. There might be. Wait, did it just let me change? No. I was about to be like, did it just let me change specializations? It's never let you do that. Let me see something. Oh, okay. Yeah, so there is text chat. So on PC, that's another plus. So even if your mic's not working, and if you're still wanting to figure something out, there's always this option. So, and then being in the guild also comes with like additional loot, additional missions, and stuff like that. Maybe try out some builds on your own, get your feet wet first. Yeah, and I mean, and the thing to remember too is when you first start out, you don't need to stress about worrying about all that stuff. That stuff will come like after end game. Because first there's establishing the story, going through the missions. Don't even worry about like when you're first starting out, especially with these games like this, it's all about number go up. So what keeps you alive? What does more damage? You'll start off with like gray and green weapons, your commons and your uncommons, and then maybe you'll occasionally get an epic. And for the times whenever we're able to play and I'm helping you, I'll walk you through it and explain it to you. So that it's not like I said, it's one of those where it seems overwhelming, but it like they do a good job of like you get into it. So you won't even have to worry about builds and stuff until the end. Nice. Which one did you get? Did you get the ultimate or did you just pick up the base game? You got ultimate? Okay, cool. Yeah. So just keep me updated in Discord. Like once you get it downloaded and everything, and then we'll just have to figure out whether on stream or off times where our schedules line up, and I got no problem helping. This is one of the games where I feel confident enough being able to help people with everything except for raids. Because not only does that require, like, I think it's 6 people, 8 people, but it's also, like, I've only done 1. So I don't even have the experience to be able to know what to do. But you don't even need raids, which is another thing that I like. Like, you don't need raids to, have, like, done everything in the game. Like, you're not locked out of, like, crucial things to where it's like, oh, crap, why did I get this game if I can't do the raids? Need a new PC build. Thankfully, there are a lot of PC creation, PC builder, I guess would be the better, PC builder services that are out there. I always tell people, and I'm not sponsored to be saying this. I just truly, I've been very happy with the service. Though, I mean, Digital Storm, you know, if you want to sponsor a brother, I won't say no. Hit me up in that business email. But I always recommend Digital Storm. That was my first ever personal PC, like desktop PC, was built by a friend of a friend when I was working at this liquor store, and their buddy worked in IT and built me like this mid-level PC. And I was still getting started. I fully didn't really know what Steam was. And this was like, I've only been into desktop PC playing since 2016. 2016, I want to say. Before that, like, all I knew was, like, in college was you need a PC to play World of Warcraft. And that's all that I played on PC. And I just used it to play, like, music on iTunes and stuff like that. Like, I was real base level casual. Oh, and check Facebook. So I was like living that boomer life of where it's like, you know, just figuring out the email, like the negative stereotype of the boomer, just figuring out the tech stuff and everything. And it was only until I want to say maybe 2018 when I got like legit gaming PC from Digital Storm. So it's only been 5 years at the most that I've actually been like gaming on a PC that could play generally most games. Something with Eisen. Exactly. You gotta take the small victories. I'm sitting here in front of y'all with lungs that don't work right, with chronic fatigue, like, just like, you know, with running around with GERD and stuff like that. Like, I'm telling you, take them small victories, and just, like, you know, push forward, you know, however you can. Don't burn yourself out, but yeah, like, just make the most of it. But yeah, so this, it hasn't been that long since I've been PC gaming, but I have been enjoying the hell out of every minute. And it's been really interesting too now as a streamer to try to adapt that, because there's a certain chaos in how I go about my gaming. Like, I may be into a game for like a few weeks to a month, and then be like, all right, I want to try something else. And then, and then I want to switch over to that. That's part of why I went into variety streaming, because I'm like, I know I'm going to get bored if I'm only playing one game. I do not know, no hate to them, but I do not know how there are like streamers out there to where like their whole career is Apex Legends or Call of Duty or Halo and stuff like that. Like, I just like, you don't get tired of that? Doesn't burn you out? More power to you, you know, if that's the thing. Maybe just have a thing to where, like, you know, that's their love. That's what they do. And like the community helps make it fun. Hold up, y'all. My nurse is coming. Okay, I'm back. She was just coming in to make sure that I was doing all right, because I had told her I probably wasn't going to be this was a test stream. I recently like stopped having like 100 plus feeling fever. I think has it only been 48 hours? Damn, it's only been like 48 hours at the most. But yeah, so this was the test stream, so I'm gonna be getting off here in a minute. But like I said, the plan is to do 2 more streams at least this week on Thursday and Saturday, and I'm gonna try and get that Instagram schedule post out to you all. I think maybe I'll do a post in the Discord as well, so y'all know too, because I truly don't know how many of you in the Discord have an Instagram. Like, I like having the extra stuff, so I have different ways to like engage with the community as it grows. But that wouldn't hurt. That'd be just real quick, just to like type stuff up in the Discord just to let y'all know. It would also kind of help me build up the habit. Because if I wasn't streaming, I would not know what Discord is. I'm not even lying. Like, I feel now that I've entered the world of PC gaming and connecting with people that, you know, that I don't know within Georgia, like people like online and stuff like that, like words that I did not even know, like TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, Discord, Origin, stuff like that. It's been pretty interesting. Hey, Larry, listen. You do not have to apologize. There are no. The only mandatory thing I would say in being a part of the community is being respectful to one another. Being respectful to one another, respecting yourself as well, and just doing the part to help make the community like safe and welcoming. I appreciate your transparency and like let me know like that means a lot, but you don't owe me an apology if you felt that you had to unfollow. But yeah, like I was saying, as much as I would love to like keep catching up with everybody, just to like maintain my health and so that I can be able to get 2 more streams out to y'all this week, I'm gonna need to get off. Like I was saying earlier, I was already feeling a little shortness of breath just from like the more talking that is required on stream as opposed to just going about non-streaming just day to day, just going about life and stuff like that. Starting to get a little clammy. I could definitely feel a temperature starting to rise. So I don't push myself too hard and end up right back where I started and be out sick for another week. I appreciate that, Larry. I'm gonna head off here, but thank you all so much for coming in and hanging out. Thank you so much, Pompano, to Larry, to Muffin. Like I said, Larry, let me know in the Discord how that download goes. If you get started before we're able to link up and play, let me know what you think so far. Feel free to like, you know, if you wanna share like a picture of, you know, what your agent ends up looking like in the slice of life thing, if you want. I mean, don't inundate the channel with just a whole bunch of pictures, but like if you want to share, you know, like however you get like your agent coming up, but be warned, the character creation is not the greatest. Don't expect it to be like Skyrim or Mass Effect or Fallout or, or stuff like that. It's a little rough. But yeah, thank you. Love y'all so much. Thank you all for the support. It feels really good to be back, even though it's not in a full capacity. When I'm not able to stream, when I miss days, when I'm only able to do shorter streams, trust me, like I feel that, because it's not the kind of quality content and experience that I want to give. So believe that I'm working to get to that 100% and to maintain that. But I'm gonna head out of here. I'm gonna have me some hydrate water mix. Gonna lay down, maybe make some bad decisions in looking through the Steam wish list for the summer sale. Remember, anybody out there watching live or coming to catch the VOD that doesn't already know, the summer sale has started. It started on the 29th. It ends July 13th. So make sure if you had any games that you wanted to, at the very least, check out to see how good of a discount they get, that you get over to Steam, and you do that before you run out of time. And again, thank you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you all Thursday at 4 p.m. If that time changes at all, I will make sure to let you all know. All right, y'all. Again, stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Love y'all so much. Adios.